What an opportunity. We've got an unbeaten side in Kenya over the past 2 weeks here in this HSBC Challenger Series. We've got a side on the right-hand side. The South African women's sevens team have only lost one game in the last 2 weeks, and it was against the same self, Kenya. Nadine Roos, who starts this game, has been an absolute star.
The Springbok women want to spoil the unbeaten party of the Springbok women and hit of flying in fast and fierce. Shaniqua Lamprecht absolutely flattening Sheila Kajira from the kickoff. Marine Marutu getting a couple meters of her own and immediately looking to strike the Kenya women. A lot of strike players and runners in the Kenya Lionesses side, and the defense of the Springbok women are going to be tested because this was the side that overcame them in the semi-final. Left to bounce, and now Nadine Roos picks up a loose ball on the one-on-one. Judith Okomu does just enough to reel her in. Momentum shifted in the side of the Springbok women. Willemse launches one to Shaniqua Lamprecht, and now Wrightsome Curry stays on her feet and gets the popple from the inside, but did it go out and hit Grace Okolu? It did, but there was a knock on first.
We haven't seen much of the strategy of the kick. We saw it now from Kenya. It went through. The kick return from Nadine Roos was brilliant. And Wrightsome Curry down this near touchline, right up against it, tried to pass in field, caught the hand of one of the Kenyans, and thus the South Africans have the option of scrum or line out.
Strike opportunity. Willemse in 10. Roos moving to the center position, and then Maria Chiremba lurking in those backgrounds. Simmers, Willemse gets a shaky pass off to Roos, and the pop over the top to Maria Chiremba, and just not able to get her hands on it. And it's just those jittery errors that you get at the beginning of a final.
100%. Real opportunity there. The space was made by Nadine Roos. The ball just needed to be caught. She's been a try-scoring machine as Maria Chiremba.
Well, Kemi Baloy in the hooking position. It's her birthday today. I had a chat with her. She said they know what they need to do to overcome this Kenya Lionesses side. They just have to execute. Okolu this time, and again opting for the boot options, backing their cardiovascular capacity over the Springbok women at the moment. But Martha and Simmers does well to cover up and then just waits for players to get in line. And again, Maria Chiremba puts the ball down, and those are costly errors.
Unforced errors. Nerves percolating through the veins of these South African women. The kick strategy, again, we had a kick there from Grace Okolu. Twice in a row, they've kicked it through. We've seen very little of that, as I mentioned.
For these sides, it's going to be high adrenaline, so it's just going to be about calming the nerves, slowing down your thought processes, because when your adrenaline is that high, everything is happening quicker, so you just got to take it as another game. The offloads, brilliant by the Kenya Lionesses at the moment. The defense standing on the toes. The defense of the Springbok women at the moment. Martha and Simmers, the cutback on the inside from Sharon Alma, and now keeping her up in contact. And it's not every time that you see the Kenya Lionesses being bullied at the contact areas. But the Springbok women and Shaniqua Lamprecht gets the cut, and the pass questionable.
Ball just not going to hand for the minute for the Springbok women's sevens team. They're creating the opportunity. They got the strip. They did well at the breakdown. The finishing is letting them down at the minute.
They've created opportunities for themselves, the Springbok women, but we're still at 0 points apiece. Just less than 3 minutes left in this first half. Which team is going to blink first is going to be the question. Shout out. Grace Okolu, literal lateral, and then the kick through comes again. Now it's a foot race between Sharon Alma and Maria Chiremba, and Alma wins that race. Grace Okolu first there on her feet. She's incredibly strong, so you're not necessarily going to hold her up to create the maul. They have to release, do the South Africans. Tap and go is the call. Want to keep the intensity up and want to keep the pressure on the Springbok women at the moment. through the hands. One more pass needs to be made. One more pass is made. And Naomi Amaguni has been a stalwart for the Kenya Lionesses this weekend and opens the scoring for the Lionesses in this final.
Strategically sound at the moment from the Kenyans, playing the game the right way, playing it in the final, getting the ball behind the South Africans with their hard-pressed defence. A third kick from Grace Okulu. She eventually got the ball, and then it got out right wide to Naomi Amaguni. There she is, the 33-year-old. The penalty comes. They just need to get this out wide into the wide channels. Simple hands, and away she goes, does Amaguni. Opening try for the Lionesses.
And a defensive problem that the Springbok women have shown throughout the entire weekend is not trusting that inside defender to make that hit. You can see Lamprecht just held off, waited for Wrightson Curry to make the hit, and by the time she launched, it was too late. Now the pressure from the Kenya Lionesses bullying the Springbok women, and that's going to be a knock-on and another opportunity for the Kenya Lionesses.
You can't be upright going into contact in that situation with the muscular Kenyan Lionesses swarming all over you.
And they play the same style of rugby in those contact areas. They're always looking to hold up the attacking player, trying to get a rip ball.
You've got to stretch them laterally, you've got to move them laterally.
Judith Okomu on the break. Grace Okolu slipping. Not players on feet, not enough defenders on feet for the Springbok women at the moment, and too tight, but the ball's cut loose now. Now Nadine Roos, the chip and chase for herself, but Sharon Alma's got the wheels, loses the ball, and there was another knock-on, but it was a double knock-on, so a breath and a sigh of relief for the Springbok women, who are struggling to get out of their own half at the moment.
Nail-biting stuff at the moment. Ball not sticking. A kick through from Nadine Roos. Just need to settle things down. Martha Simmers, the very experienced Martha Simmers. At scrum half, it's now been adjudged that Kenya get the scrum feed.
Well, halftime hoot is gone. Kenya do have opportunity with ball in hand, though. What do they do? Chow feeds, and the switch play, but well read by Nadine Roos, who goes for the rip immediately, and it has worked out for the Springbok women. So ball back in hand. Baloy, Wrightson Curry. Curry releases Shaniko Lamprecht. Has that gone forward? But there was a knock-on. And the knock-on. There's better communication between the ref and the AR, and the communication's been had and the decision's been made. So after the disgruntlement from all of the Springbok women players and the fans in the stands, Kenya lead the Springbok women in this cup final 5-0 at halftime. Well, there had to be hard chats in the huddle. Have to slow things down, take the emotions out of it. Kemi said to Baloy, gets low. The double hit was lined up on her. Roos, Lamprecht manages to just hold on to the ball. Huge fend and a bigger tackle from Judith Okomu, flattening Lamprecht inside their own 22. Now they want to try and create something from deep. Ayanda Malenga, and that is the third ball to the wingers, who have just not stuck. And you can see the celebration from the Kenya Lionesses, because they can just feel that momentum shifting back in their favor.
It's amazing what pressure does to individuals and players on the pitch. This is finals footy. Skills pay the bills, and at the moment, the balls are being spilled by the Springboks out wide.
Chow on the feed wins a clean scrum, and now Grace Okolu on the hardest of lines, just not a pass to sit. It's just too hard. If you're going to play that short line, it's got to be a more forgiving pass.
Yeah, a lot of physicality coming from the Kenyan Lionesses at the moment. Through that physicality, the pressure's being transferred onto this Springbok women's side. Springbok women just need to take a step back, take it easy, make sure the pass is in place.
Jacobs, Willemse to Roos. Roos sizes up her options, makes eye contact with Judith Okomu, but they've shifted off and found Maria Chiremba. The double hit on Chiremba is good. Got to get ball back, got to get clean ball back. Willemse takes her time. Jacobs, Mkari, right? Or rather Baloy, rather just dictating play. And she's broken through, oh, but all gone backwards. Do they have advantage? The Kenya Lionesses, no they don't, but they do have a numbers advantage on the outside. Jacobs gets in to make the cover. Judith Okoma releases the ball to Grace Okolu. There's a penalty against the Springbok women.
Springbok women battling to get out of their own half. All the territorial domination is going with the Kenyans at the moment. Their captain, Grace Okulu, playing it perfectly. Calling the scrum. Getting herself into that first receiver position.
Scrum just off of the left upright. So often to flood the open side of the Kenya Lionesses. Putting all their chips on black.
Under. Crouch. Find.
Reset of the scrum.
Set.
Bit of communication, just a bit of chat. And Chow on the feed. Again goes lateral. Again Grace Okolu on the cut. But this time picks Judith Okomu as her option. Chow. Kajira. Sharon Alma gets the beat around Maria Chiremba. And Nadine Rus is not able to get a finger to her. And Sharon Alma shows what she's made of. And slowly, the Kenya Lionesses are starting to break South African hearts.
Oh, the pressure's telling. It really is, and the Kenyan team are handling it better. Getting on the outside, Sharon Alma showing incredible pace. A kick and a conversion missed. It's just the width, moving the ball out wide, getting it onto those wide fringes, getting it into the hands of Sharon Alma.
So conversion was good by the Kenya Lionesses.
Come on, Cape Town, make some noise. Let's go.
As it stands, the Kenya Lionesses lead 12 points to 0. 3 minutes left on the clock. Still enough time, but the Springbok women need a good quality ball in their hands. It's also got to become a team effort. We can't individually try and be heroes to save the day. Lee Fortuin doesn't get ball in hand, and you've lost meters again, have the Springbok women, so they have to do it, but they have to do it from deep. Ruas, Nadine Ruas to Ayanda Malinga, and leaves another one behind, does Ayanda Malinga. And it's all starting to unravel. The Kenya Lionesses were here last week. They understand the pressure of a cup final. The Springbok women, though, were not, and not in front of their home crowd. And how much more pressure does that not add?
Oh, the passes have been sticking the whole way through day one of round two. They stuck today. In the final, they're spilling the passes at the moment. Very disappointing here for the SA Springbok ladies team.
Chow, Judith Okomu stays lateral, stays flat, and gets the flatters of passes, and now it gets out to Freshia Odwa. Odwa's not able to round the South Africans, and the ball stolen by Lee Fortuin, the youngster. Stolen back by the Kenya Lionesses now, and all they have to do is manage the game. That's all they have to do. There's no rush for the Kenya Lionesses.
Kayla Swartz has gone down. Attention needs to be given to her. There's less than 2 minutes to go. They've got the penalty at the moment. They're holding all the cards. Oh, Kenya. Grace Okulu calls them all together. There's a little half-half going. They're having a chat. They're discussing how they've got to play it. 2 minutes to go. The South Africans have to score twice in that time. Kayla Swartz is down. She's injured. The cards has come on. All the pressure on the South Africans to try to turn this. Nadine Russ, the one talking.
And just taking a look into the stands, Kayla Swartz's mom has completely run down and is standing right next to the cart and just keeping an eye on her daughter. So,
well, the one thing is that the medical attention that they've got here at the Athlone Stadium is top draw. We get you early in the morning. They're all going through their procedures.
What just happened at the bottom of that breakdown for Kayla Swatch? Did good to get on the inside of Fresia Odwa to make that tackle, and then just as she went down, looks like it would have been on her shoulder, rather. It looks like the injury is on.
Yeah, fell awkwardly. There was also torsional forces, rotational forces happening at speed. Can this Springbok Sevens team pull it out the fire? Because at the moment, Kenya are loaded.
Well, bit of an uphill battle for the Springbok women. They've got to get ball back in hand and get ball back in hand quickly. Minute 42 seconds left to go. And there was heartbreak to not make it to the final, but to make it to the final and not to finish things off might just burn and sting a little bit more. Odwa with the feed again on that lateral run, and there's nobody touching her at the moment. So many options running off of Fresia Odwa, and there's not enough defense on the outside. And Fresia Odwa is most definitely going to continue to spoil the South African party.
Oh, absolute delight for the Kenyan Lionesses. They have played this final to perfection. They came out with the right strategy. They've executed. They've brought physicality. They've done that. They've been good at the breakdown. They've got the turnovers. They've harassed the South Africans. They've knocked the South Africans out of their stride. And they are deservedly in the lead, 17 points to 0.
Well, I'm going to be an optimist. It's 2 quick tries, 2 quick converted tries, and the Springbok women are back in it.
Oh, it's going to be a long way from there. 17-0. They need more than just two tries. Fresia Odwa does the finish.
7 seconds left to take this kickoff. Now time has gone off, so a couple of changes being made, and the Kenya Lionesses would feel that they have potentially done enough to go back-to-back. A very deep kickoff. Right, some curry. Straight neck. Ruiz. Baloy. And again, another pass just doesn't go to hand. And it's all falling apart now with 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, unfortunately, for the Springbok Women's Sevens team, it's been the story of this final. Too many passes gone to ground. A lot of those passes out wide when there was opportunity beckoning.
Hoot is gone, the full-time Hoot is gone, and the Kenya Lionesses are going to spoil the party for the Springbok women. Again, are they going to try and finish it off with one more try? They are not going to get it right, but Nadine Roos might have the last say. Ball back in hand with the Springbok women. It's not going to be enough to win it, but potentially something to take out of this game. Penalty for the Springbok women, and Felicia Jacobs doing what Felicia Jacobs does, but she's going to get tracked in by the Kenya Lionesses defenders. Look for the pop. Ruiz comes in for the seal. Baloy. And they're going to try and bully her and hold her up, turn it into the maul, not able to do so. Great work. Lamprecht. Fortuin. The long pass to Maria Chiremba. Rather, Ayanda Malinga, who kicks up sand as she goes down. Fortuin. Lamprecht. There's a gaping hole in the middle opening up for Shaniqua Lamprecht, but she runs out of steam, and then Grace Okolu on the tackle. We're 1 minute and 20 into overtime of this match. Turnover's been made, so the Kenya Lionesses just need to get the ball off the park, and they would have gone back to back.
Amazing performance by the Kenyans to do it back to back. Had a tough game last week against Argentina. They dealt with the Argentines, and they have dealt with the South Africans, and they are the champions.